Today's October 22nd. Today's quote is entitled, "How can one overcome distress?" By accepting things that you can't control, accepting things as they are. This is, it's a very simple principle, but has many ramifications because most of our problems result from not being able to handle them. In other words, not being able to accept how things have come down. Now, it's one thing if we're responsible for the problems, because then we can actually do something. And in that sense, the way you relieve distress is to make every effort you can to make a situation better. And by making that effort, you feel like, well, I've done whatever I can. I'm not letting this happen out of my control. I'm not being irresponsible. I'm just doing what I can. I've done what I can. I've done my best. But then you feel, okay, now the rest is up to Krishna. That's important. If you allow things to go in the wrong way and you could change them, naturally you're going to be in distress, both because of the way they're going, and the fact that you didn't do anything, or you were too, whatever it was, whatever reason, lazy or ignorant or resistant. But what about situations where you can't do anything, where it's out of your control and you're still trying to control it? That causes immense distress. There are many, many situations, obviously, where we have little or no control. And when we acknowledge that I don't have control in this situation, maybe all I can do is pray. Maybe all I can do is think in the right way. Maybe all I can do is continue with my devotional service, continue with my sadhana as I've always been doing, and there's nothing I can do other than be Krishna conscious. There is no other solution. That's the solution of letting things go. We could say the Draupadi method. We just, okay, I have no control of this situation. It's in Krishna's hands. There's nothing I can do. I have to leave it in his hands. I'm worried about it. I'm concerned about it. But often we're worried about and concerned about things which we can't control, and it causes us a lot of distress. So the principle of accepting things which we can't control is obviously a spiritual principle, and in my experience, it's one of the remedies, one of the best remedies for many, many of our problems, because many, many of our problems are situations in which we can't control. Now, the opposite of this would be letting things go, as we said before, that we can control. And if we do that, it's a huge mistake, because that kind of means we're letting our life go out of control, and we'll feel out of control. So you have two things: feeling out of control when you can control, and feeling in control when you can't control. And they both cause distress. So the Serenity Prayer says, Lord, let me change what I can change. And let me not change what I can't change. Let me accept what I can't change. And let me know the difference of what I can change and what I can't change. So if you want to do a little exercise, write down everything you control on a piece of paper. And then next to that, write down everything you don't control. And just look at that paper. And I think you'll see that in your list of what you control, there may be things you don't control, or you don't have as much control as you think you have. And in your list of what you don't control, you will see there are many things that you actually do control, that you should be controlling, that you think you don't control. Because a lot of times, the paradox is the things we should be controlling, like our minds and our senses, and taking responsibility for problems we're creating, we don't control, we don't acknowledge. And the things we can't control, sometimes we try to control. That's the problem. We get it backwards. That's a major cause of distress or stress. Or both. So the Prabhupada ki jai.